Hello, everyone. This is Chala Dinkoy, CEO and founder of The Repositioning Expert, coming to you live on an early Tuesday, well, early for Tuesday tea time. And it is Tuesday tea time. And we are talking about, of course, what else? AI. But let me first take a sip. I am on my way to DC for an exciting event tomorrow in Washington, DC. And I'm speaking in front of the next generation of the future makers, of entrepreneurs, and it's going to be really exciting. So, looking forward to that. Looking forward to a smooth trip just for one day. And that's why I'm doing this so early. Early for me, early for Tuesday tea time. So, I have been watching every presentation, every sales related, marketing related presentation, every entrepreneur related presentation that has to do with AI. I've been listening to podcasts that are projecting the dangers of AI and the future of AI. And I have been in that group of small businesses that is afraid to be left behind. It has the FOMO of fear of missing out, of being left behind, so that I am no longer relevant or competitive, or not making the best of the use of AI. And I am constantly trying to make up for that perceived gap. And so if you're in that boat, if you've also felt the same, I want to make you feel better. There's some recent research by Gartner that says, so let me just first set it up before I get to you decide whether it's good news or not. But for me, it was a little bit of a calming news. It was a little bit of a good news. So 42% of all current conference, like first quarter 2026, for first half 2026, of all conference keynotes have the word AI in it or something related to AI. And then almost all 84% of C-suite keynotes have AI. And they're not just talking about what it is, but they're talking about how to integrate it into their core strategy. And it's now the number 3 most requested keynote title has something to do with AI, or the topic. And the first is, believe it or not, leadership and culture. And the second one is the future of work. Boy, wouldn't it be great if we knew the future of work, of the economy, of the war, everything, the future of everything. But yeah, so it's the 3rd most requested topic. So, something to tell you if you speak. Now, here's the good news. A Gartner report recently found that by 2030, B2B buyers are going to be preferring, 75% of them will be preferring a human interaction versus AI during their sales process. And in a lot of ways, they already do. So let me take you through, first of all, why. There's a sea of sameness that's experienced by people who are on the receiving end of AI generated messages. So there's, first of all, the lack of judgment, lack of empathy, lack of authenticity. They perceive that. And I myself tried to generate an AI generated, I called it a pain avatar testimonial video. And I showed it to, my prospects, my people I trusted, my clients. And a lot of them could tell that it was AI. And the majority of them were bothered by the fact that it was AI. So there's just such a sense of they can understand it and they don't react well to it. So it could be a virtue of time, but by token of what the Gartner report is projecting based on the study that it did with B2B buyers, 75% of them by 2030 are going to be even sicker of it. So they buy from people, B2B buyers buy from people they know. I've presented in the past how referrals have a huge close rate, how part of their actual process of buying is actually vetting people that they knew in the past. And then the other portion is to ask the people they work with or their peers in other companies in the same industry that they work with, or their suppliers, to mine through who do you know that would help around this problem. So all of this is also playing into the AI fatigue that we're just experiencing a couple of years into ChatGPT being publicly launched. So that's the news number one, is that the Gardner report is predicting that B2B buyers by 75% are going to be preferring human versus AI in the buying process, in the B2B buying process. Now, the second point is that AI is now drowning inboxes. So here are some of the research. Cold email sent by AI has a 3.43% reply. And guess what? A human sent email, cold email has 15%. So in comparison, LinkedIn email sent by AI has an 8%. And there's a range, but I'm giving you the higher ends. And by human is 25%. So 8 versus 25. So when AI is drowning the inbox, you have to set yourself apart by actually sending it yourself. And whether it's good or not, it doesn't matter. It's human. And of course, it has to be relevant. It has to be pain-based. It has to be targeted. It has to be customized. It has to be all those things that it always had to be. So that's not any different. But when the same message or the same themed message is sent by a machine versus you have a lot higher chance of getting a reply. Number three reason why the 75% of buyers are running back to humans is that humans are used to close, but AI is used for research. So a hybrid combination of the two is the winning formula. So, I mean, 80% of the buyer's buying journey in B2B is done without you. Okay. And they don't want to talk to you until, the end of the road. And only 17% of the buyer's time is spent with a sales rep or the vendor. And on average, buyers are now using 10 plus channels to get their information. So you have to be everywhere. Your content has to be everywhere. You have to be everywhere. And only 25% of sales reps hit their quota in 2024. And I guarantee you things have gotten even tougher in 2026. So that's why you need to use the AI to do the research about the industry pain points and who they are, and there is no information about a potential prospect that you can't get anymore online, and or someone similar in that industry or a company in that industry. It's just all out there for you, and it's available at your fingertips. It first started when LinkedIn was available and you could see everybody there. And I know, because every time I have a meeting with a prospect, I noticed that they viewed my profile. There's nothing clearer than that LinkedIn is the first go-to where everybody wants to see. And I'm going to give you a stat about why that's so important, why LinkedIn is so important in B2B. But after B2B, now there's AI, and use AI for the research. But then every touch point, try to make it as human as possible. Number 4 of why buyers are running back to humans is, without getting the basics right, AI can't help you. And when I say basics, I did a topic a couple of weeks ago about how AI search is now completely bypassing your SEO and completely bypassing your website. Most hiring is done without ever once clicking on your website or even seeing it. So, and the reason for that is because, and this is happening to me all the time, I'm shopping for a retirement home for my mom. I never even went to the website. I didn't even Google it. I just asked Gemini. And then, I said, which is the highest rated, gave me a whole bunch of reasons why and which ones. And then I looked at their ratings. And then I looked at some other, I looked at them. I then called them, set up interviews. And then once it got serious, then I started to look at, okay, what are the actual comments? So I have now bypassed the whole, what I used to do, which was I used to Google, whatever the search term was in the city. And then I would go and click on every single one of the search terms and the websites. And that just doesn't happen anymore. So the basics that you have to get right is you have to get crystal clear on who you help and what industry you help and what specific pain point you help them with. And you have to word it as an expertise in that pain point and produce as much content as you can, especially in LinkedIn. Because on LinkedIn, remember what I was saying, I'm going to get to 78% of people who produce content on LinkedIn get more sales than their counterparts that they don't. So it's 70%, 78% of social sellers outsell their peers that skip that interaction or, the content creation on LinkedIn. So without a clear niche and a crystal clear message of who you are, who you help, and what you help with, AI can't help you, can't find you, and people can't really look you up, and they don't get a sense of what you're really an expert in. So you have to get the basics right. Otherwise, AI can't help you. And humans are running back to humans. But even if they run back to you, that they'll still, even if they meet you at a conference, and they meet you, you're sitting next to them at an event, you still won't be able to get their, ear or have a sticky message because you're not clear about who you help and what you do. And maybe you're not even in the right room, which a lot of my clients are not in. They're in too many diluted rooms that their clients are not in, or they don't represent 70% of the audience, where they're, really kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall to see if they're going to sit next to someone that could potentially even be a buyer. So don't do any of those things. Get the basics right, and then you can help. And then you can let AI help you get more clients. And then last, of course, is the follow-up. The follow-up truth is that 88% of buyers say yes after the 5th touch point. And the touch point could be, meeting you somewhere, seeing your content, seeing you speak somewhere, reading something from you, getting an email from you, getting a door opener from you, anything at all. It could be some form of touch point where hopefully it's not just a, hey, just checking up to see if you're ready to buy from me, but it's something of value. You're inviting them to a roundtable, you're inviting them to your keynote, you're inviting them to, view you on TV, or you're sending them a book, something of value, or a white paper or something of value. And then reps quit after 2 calls or 2 touch points. So that's never going to get you anywhere. That hardly ever wins. Human persistence wins. And again, that's something that AI can't really help you do. So I hope after this that you're feeling a little bit less FOMO around AI, a little bit less, fear around AI, and you're going to just harness it. I mean, in the end, 2-3 years from now, even today, everything you have and do will have some form of AI integrated into it. All the systems that you use, all the systems that you own. I mean, everything that you already do probably has some AI. So the AI washing is no longer a differentiator. So don't be fooled by that. Get the basics right. And then remember where exactly people are pulling back and giving it over to AI in the hopes that it's going to have a better conversion for them, but it's not. So you lean in where people are leaning out, especially during the sales process, especially during content creation, and especially during outreach. Okay, I hope that was helpful, and I will see you next Tuesday. Take care.